Hi, welcome to this look at the Easter weather prospects. It's often said in the UK that snow is more likely to fall at Easter than it is at Christmas. I'm not really sure whether that's the case or not, but this year it looks like there could be a wintry flavour to the Easter period. I'll begin by showing some computer model charts for Good Friday, so the beginning of the Easter period. This one's from the GFS 00Z run today, and what we can see here is we've got high pressure centred to the northwest of the UK, and there's cold air pushing down from the northeast across much of the United Kingdom. It's coldest at this point in eastern and northern counties, with potential for milder conditions still in Northern Ireland. I'll show the next chart, which is from the GFS 06Z model run. So this one was it's the same computer model, but it was initiated 6 hours later. And what we can see is a pretty similar pattern. Here we've got high pressure up to the northwest, and we've got this cold air moving down from the northeast. So those two are consistent. The next one up is the European ECM model. The projection on this is slightly different. But again, what we can see is a similar picture. We've got the high pressure up here to the northwest and cold air moving down from the north. One more, the ECMP, which is the new version of the ECM model. This is in development. It's scheduled to go become the operational model run later this year, I believe. But it's pretty consistent here. We've got the high pressure, the familiar pattern, and the cold air moving down from the north. Final one of these initial charts, which I'm going to show, is from the Canadian model. The broad scale picture is similar, with high pressure to the northwest and colder air moving down there. But you can see at this stage there's still some milder or even warmer air across the southern part of the United Kingdom. So this would be suggesting the possibility of a warmer or milder start, at least across the south, as we head into the Easter weekend. So I'm not going to run sequences for all of those computer model runs, but I will run this one, which is the GFS 00Z, and it will step through the Easter weekend. What we can see here is cold air moving across from the east, across the UK. There's a mixture of rain and snow showers coming in off from the North Sea, pushing westwards across Britain. And by the end of the Easter weekend, what we can see is another plunge of cold air coming down from the northeast. That's fairly typical. I'll show one more sequence from the GFS 06Z run, so the one which was initiated 6 hours later. Here we go, running through the Easter weekend. Again, it's a similar picture. We've got the cold air coming down from the east. But then by the end of the Easter weekend, there's a renewed cold plunge from the northeast or the north, bringing the potential for more widespread sleet or snow showers. Of course, the snow on these charts is shown by the white shading. The yellows and blues are indicating rain. So all in all those model runs which I just looked at there are suggesting the potential for wintry conditions this Easter. In terms of the daytime temperatures, this is from the GFS 00Z model. It's for 15 GMT on Easter Sunday. I'm going to show this because it's highlighting sort of maximum temperatures which are being forecast. And what we can see is, even here, it's single figures right across the UK, with the warm air, the mild air being pushed well south across towards the Mediterranean. So doesn't look particularly cold, but temperatures in single figures, which I'll say something about in a moment, because this is from the GFS 06Z model run. It's for the same time, and it's pretty consistent with what we've just seen with the temperatures again in single figures across the UK. Now, as I said, single figures, 7s, 8s Celsius, 9 Celsius perhaps. That doesn't sound particularly cold, but the thing to bear in mind at this time of year is that the sun is very strong. So when it does put in an appearance during the days, the temperatures are going to lift pretty rapidly, even though the air mass over the UK may be cold or even very cold. Conversely, when the showers come along, those temperatures are going to take a tumble. And that's how we could well be seeing some sleet or snow falling in the showers as they become heavier, as they intensify, become more prolonged. Perhaps they'll start off as rain, but as the temperatures drop in those showers, there's an increasing likelihood of them turning to sleet or snow, even down to low levels. In terms of the temperatures we can expect over the night, well, that's going to be very dependent on the extent of cloud cover, how strong the winds are. But it does look as though there is the potential for frosts to become widespread. This is a chart just to illustrate what I'm saying. It's 06 GMT on Saturday, the 3rd of April, but it's fairly representative for any of the mornings through the Easter period at the moment, based on the current computer model guidance. What we can see is temperatures across the UK dipping down below freezing, so potential for quite a widespread frost. And as I say, that would be the same on the other nights through the Easter period, at least potentially. In terms of snow, well, that's a big question, of course. At this range, we're too far off to know whether it's going to snow or not. It's something which will really only become clearer within maybe 2 or 3 days of the Easter weekend itself. But what the computer models are currently showing is the potential. This is from the GFS 00Z model, and again, it's valid for 06 GMT on Easter Sunday. And what we can see is there's some snow across Scotland, parts of high ground in northern England perhaps, and Wales, even down into the southwest there. So if that was correct, some people would be seeing snow on Easter Sunday. The next GFS model run for the same time shows a slightly different snowfall profile, but don't get bogged down in the details. I think to possibly draw attention to on this one is the chance of snow even in parts of southern England. So that's not out of the question. Air mass profile temperatures. This is for London. It's from the European ECM model, and it's an ensemble model. What they do is run the model many times. They tweak the starting conditions of it and see what impact those tweaks have as you go forward. The idea being if small tweaks at the outset make a big difference to the forecast projection X number of days ahead, confidence in a solution is going to be reduced. That's the basics of it. So what we can see here is that it's mild to begin with. It's going to be very mild. In fact, in the short term, Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, in southern England, we could see temperatures at the surface reaching 21 or 22 Celsius. So it's going to be potentially a big change as we approach the Easter weekend and go through it. And that's what can be seen on this chart. We can see upper air temperatures there reaching about 10 Celsius, which is really mild, but then they fall away pretty quickly through the middle and second half of the coming week in the run up to Easter. The mean of them for London here is down to about -3 Celsius. Obviously, that means that you've got a number of runs in the ensemble which are going for higher and a number which are going for lower values, and the mean is averaging all of those out. So -3 at the upper air level doesn't sound particularly cold, but as I say, there's a big spread here, and a number of the model, quite a lot of the runs are going for lower values than that. Even -3 is chilly. The comparable chart for Glasgow shows something quite similar. The interesting thing to take on board with this is that right towards the very end, you see the mean value of the thick purple line on these plots going down further. And what that is indicating is the possibility of the coldest conditions actually reaching the northern part of the United Kingdom after the Easter period itself, so maybe the Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday after Easter Monday. And what that could be occurring as a result of a really sharp northerly plunge, which some of the second northerly plunge, which some of these runs are indicating. So even when we get through the Easter period, there is the potential for that cold to continue and perhaps even intensify. Similar plot shown in a slightly different way, similar data shown in a slightly different way from the GEFS ensemble model. The last one was the European one. This is the American model, and this this chart's for London. What we can see there is it's a similar pattern. This one goes out 16 days rather than 10 days, so it's all stretched further. But it's the same pattern. We've got that very mild upper level there to begin with, and this huge and sharp drop in 850 HPA temperatures, and the mean then falls to about -5 through the Easter period. So it's actually favouring a slightly colder air mass to be over the UK than the ECM one possibly is. In terms of snow, well, you can see the snow row along the bottom of the chart there. Values are sort of going up towards 12, up to 12, 11, 12. The maximum you can have on a snow row is 33, so 11 is suggesting 1 in 3 chance of snow falling, but not necessarily accumulating. So a 33% chance is a maximum on a given day through the Easter period, according to this plot. The similar one for Glasgow shows that, again, it's the same pattern as you can see 850 HPA temperatures staying well below the average right through to the end of 16 days. And if anything here, the snow row values are a little bit higher. So a slightly greater risk of snowfall in Glasgow than in London, which is what you would expect as it's a more northerly location. In terms of the 2-metre temperatures, this is for York, this data table. It's generated from the GEFS. It's showing maximum 2-metre temperatures through each time step, each 6-hour time step through the Easter period. So starting on Good Friday and ending on Easter Monday. The light greens are showing maximum values of between 6 to 10 Celsius. The darker greens are between 1 and 5 Celsius, and the blues are ranging from 0 Celsius down to -8. So what we can see here is that the maximums are, on most days, are likely to be between 6 and 10, which really fitted in with those two overview temperature charts which I showed earlier, bearing in mind that when the showers come along, those temperatures will be making a steep decline. They'll be going down quickly. Minimum temperatures through the period, using the same format, again for York. And what we can see here is there's lots of blue columns, lots of blues appearing in the columns. So suggesting, therefore, that frosts are likely, because a lot of these runs are showing minimum temperatures for certain time steps to be at or below 0 Celsius. So pretty cold nights you would expect if this turns out to be correct. To add a little more substance to the likelihood of snow or not, because I guess that's where a lot of focus will be in the coming days, I'll show this chart initially. It's for the Cairngorm Mountains, and if we go across the top, if we go horizontally, it's showing each time step through the Easter period. Vertically, you've got the output from each computer model run in the GEFS ensemble. If a square turns purple, it means that the computer model is forecasting snow to fall at that given time. This doesn't necessarily mean the snow will be accumulating. It just means that there could be a shower coming along that could contain rain, sleet, but it's also forecasting that there'll be snow flakes mixed in it, or it'll be entirely of snow. Now, there's lots of purple on this, as you would expect, with it being the Scottish mountains. I wanted to use it to show you this next, to contrast it. And what we can see here is the same plots, but for 3 different locations. On the left, we've got London. In the centre, we have Manchester. And on the right, we have Edinburgh. And you can see there's much less purple on these than there was for the Cairngorm one. Still, I think, having made that point, I'd add that there is quite a significant amount of purple showing even on the London chart on the left there. Certainly on the Edinburgh one, there's quite a lot. What these are suggesting is that even in other locations, lowland locations such as London and Manchester, there is a significant possibility of snow falling through the Easter period, or at least on occasion through the Easter period. But as I say, remember, that doesn't necessarily mean the snow is going to be accumulating. It could just be a light it could be a light burst of snow contained within in a shower. And of course, at this range, we're still over a week away from Easter Sunday. There's time for things to change. So it's looking all in all like the potential for quite a wintry Easter. And to summarise it, it's important to say at this stage, for those people who don't normally watch these forecasts, when we're looking more than maybe 5 days ahead, for confidence in a given outcome in the UK will always fall. But what we're seeing here is the potential this year for the Easter period to be colder than average. There's a chance of it being notably cold at times, perhaps later on as a second plunge from the north makes its way down towards the UK. There is a chance of it being a white Easter in places, and accumulations of snow are not out of the question, particularly in the northern half of the UK. But even in the south, there is a chance of transient snow accumulating. Frosts are likely to be widespread on some nights, but they will depend on the extent of cloud cover and the strength of winds. There's also the chance of those frosts being sharp or even quite severe, according to some of the computer model data. So that's the summary of what could be quite a wintry Easter this year. As I say, there is still uncertainty about those details, but more and more of the computer model output is going for a colder than average Easter 2021 in the UK. So I hope you found this video useful and enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons below so you'll stay up to date when I publish new forecasts. Thanks very much for watching now. Bye.